Final week of Phase 3 OTAs is winding down for the Minnesota Vikings ahead of next week's mandatory minicamp starting on Tuesday. Here are 5 things we learned from this week's version of Vikings OTAs. Numero uno. Kirk is just a little bit different. Now, this is honestly the most confident I've ever seen Kirk Cousins, no cap, both on the field in the highlights as well as how he carried himself in the press conference. And he talked about becoming a mentor, trying to pay it forward. Now, younger Kirk Cousins, who wasn't as secure in his job, may have been a little bit more insecure about bringing in some high-level quarterback competition like Kellen Mond, but Kirk is upping his game. He wants to prove that he can be the Vikings quarterback past next year when his contract is up. Confident Kirk and angry Kirk is the best version of him. Hopefully that carries over into training camp and into the season because, my God, hopefully that offensive line gets fixed. Because if this is the Kirk Cousins we get, the NFC Offensive Player of the Month type Kirktoberfest, woo, Vikings offense is going to be legit. Next up, thing number 2 that we learned from this week's Vikings OTAs, Cameron Dantzler just watching. Second-year pro Cameron Tiny Dantzler was the best rookie cornerback in 2020, but he's been up on blocks at OTAs as a spectator the last 2 weeks. Hence, guys like Chris Boyd getting some run with the ones and looking good in spurts. Yes, it is OTAs. Yes, it's June. Who really cares? But you have to factor in that Cameron Dantzler did miss time last year with 3 separate injuries, ribs, concussion, and a hamstring. And Hold Me Closer has the chance to be a Pro Bowl type cornerback this year. And be the Vikings cornerback 1 for a long time going forward. But with his frame, health is always going to be a concern, and it's worth monitoring as you head into minicamp. We'll see if he's back on the field next week. I mean, maybe the Gladney situation is not the reason why they're loading up on cornerbacks in free agency. Next up, thing number 3 that we learned from Vikings OTAs, Whop Philyor could be a threat, baby. So the wide receiver 3 job is wide open, pun intended, and the UDFA from Indiana, he a Hoosier, is showing up early and showing up often. Now, I did like Whop in the draft process. 70 catches, 1,002 yards receiving, 5 touchdowns in 2019. Kind of a down 2020 season, and I thought that he could and should be a late draft pick, but with the wide receiver class so damn deep, he got pushed down to being undrafted, which is fine. Chip on the shoulder, shifty in the slot, tough contested catch type kid, decent returner as well. Watch out for number 16 as the process goes along. Next up, thing number 4 that we learned from this week's Vikings OTAs, Kene Nwangu first team reps. Woo, look emoji. Speaking of the rookies, so 4th round pick Kene Nwangu got some reps with the ones this week, busting it out. And yes, he is a certified Rick James athlete, super freak, super freaky, super freaky. Depressed college stats because he was behind Montgomery and Brees Hall at Iowa State. I get it, and he does need some polish for sure. But running back is the easiest position to make the leap from college to the National Football League. Like, you can contribute right away, and you could see him busted out in preseason. And we talked about before. I mean, if Madison doesn't step up his own game, maybe eventually Kene ends up being running back too, getting a few carries here and there during the season, busting out a big run. He's got the quickness, he's got explosiveness, he's just a perfect fit in this outside zone scheme. So let's go, man. Lastly, thing number 5 that we learned from this week's OTAs, Breeland got some swag, man. I love it. So Breeland won't be practicing at minicamp due to recovering from a shoulder surgery, but dude's got swag. Showed up to his presser in a Scottie Pippen high school jersey. Pip is one of the most underrated players in NBA history, and I love what he was putting down. He was talking about mentoring the younger cornerbacks, and there's still a lot of them, working with Patrick Peterson, imparting some wisdom. Plus, he's got that winner's pedigree. He has a ring from 2 years ago. Last year, not so much, but he went back to the Super Bowl. And the Vikings want to go on a deep run in the playoffs and get to and win the Super Bowl. Breeland's done that. Been there, done that, gotten the t-shirt, and he can impress that on the rest of the defense, especially the young guys. And you just got to love that winner's mentality and that winner's swag that he's going to bring to the table. I love Rashad Breeland, man. Yeah. But your thoughts, 5 things that we learned from this week's version of Vikings OTAs. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work, post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.